If you're a Disney fan and you're in Japan, which is a nudge to my channel name by the way, be sure to let a stop on your itinerary be a shopping trip at Daiso. Because not only can you get officially licensed Disney merchandise for a couple of dollars, Daiso is the biggest dollar store chain in Japan, which means there is a ton, and I mean a ton, especially recently, of Disney merchandise that you can find there. And if you're having some doubts because it's still a dollar store and that probably means dollar store quality, I'm here to tell you, based on personal experience, that Japan dollar store quality is very different. In this video, I'll be sharing with you how to make the most of your shopping trip at Daiso, especially if you are looking for Disney merchandise. Like any store, the items at Daiso are categorized in several sections, and probably the most obvious if you're looking for character-based designs are at an aisle or section called character goods. There you can obviously find Disney items. It's not limited to Disney, you'll also find SANRIO items. SANRIO is the company that brings you Hello Kitty and Pochako and Little Twin Stars and Cinnamon Roll, and then you can also find a couple of random anime merchandise there as well. But since this video is a focus on Disney merchandise specifically, I will be focusing on that. A lot of the examples I will be sharing with you is based off of my local Daiso, and my local Daiso just so happens to take up an entire floor of the mall, so that means it carries a lot more items than your probably neighborhood Daiso. It'll give you a good idea of the variety of items that you can find at a big Daiso. Going back to the character goods section, a lot of the items you'll find is items that have character designs on them. So it's quite random at what you'll find. You'll see things like zipper bags and notebooks and stationery. And surprisingly, even some cooking utensils and eating utensils. I would say the majority of the items in this section was geared towards children. Now, Daiso is also very aware of the fact that not only children but grown-ups can be Disney fans, and they have a whole bunch of items that are catered towards adults, especially that of the housekeeping kind. That just means you have to search outside of the character goods aisle. It is scattered throughout various other sections or aisles in Daiso, so it's a bit of a scavenger hunt. I'll take you through some of the aisles and give you examples of the items that you can find in those particular aisles. So let's start off with the laundry aisle. Here, I was able to find a lot of laundry nets of different sizes and also laundry hampers. I've also come across in the past some clothing pins that have Mickey-shaped heads at the ends. At the DIY section, I found a lot of cut fabric cloths that feature many different Disney designs like the princesses, the Fab Five, Winnie the Pooh, Monsters Inc., among others. And then there are also appliques, so you have cut fabric which you can sew onto larger fabric, and they were made of especially good quality, all embroidered and made easy to apply. Over at the stationery section, there's a lot more Disney items that you can find there, especially that of letter sets, envelopes, cards, stamps, and of course masking tape. Heading on over to the picnic goods aisle, which is generally things related to food or eating. There you can find picnic sheets, or in Japanese English they call it leisure sheets. Then you have insulated lunch bags, disposable plates and cups and that sort of thing, decorative picks, cookie cutters, ice molds, and I've seen some occasional chopsticks even. At the cleaning supplies area, there were sponges. And that's about it. Heading to the cosmetics aisle, this particular section has especially seen an increase of Disney items. To date, there is a dedicated Disney line of makeup brushes, along with some oil blotting sheets that feature a particular Disney princess or Disney female character, both of which I have introduced and talked about in another video, so I will link that in the description in case you're interested. And one of the more recent lineups has been the introduction of jewelry, especially that of earrings. Most of the earrings have a very minimalistic or simple design. The earrings often get sold very quickly and they take a while to restock again, so if you happen to come across them, you're one of the lucky few. That's pretty much the majority of where you can find a lot of the Disney items outside of the character goods section. I also would like to mention that there have been exclusive dedicated lines within the past year that Daiso has been gearing towards a particular Disney character or characters, one of them being of the princess merchandise line, which features 3 princesses, Ariel, Rapunzel, and Belle. And then after that, there was the Mickey and Minnie Sweets Cafe, of which I gave an in-depth review of all the items that was released in that particular merchandise lineup, and I will link that video in the description. It's one of the biggest merchandise lineup that Daiso has released of Disney, well over 60 unique items, and they keep adding onto it even to this day. In my local Daiso, there was a dedicated shelf area for that particular merchandise line, so hopefully that particular lineup is not too hard to find. And more recently, along the lines of that Mickey and Minnie Sweets Cafe merchandise lineup, Daiso has been gradually adding more Mickey items to that particular lineup, so it's slowly gearing more towards Mickey. Now here's the thing to note, even though I shared with you some of the aisles where you can find more Disney items, that is not all of it. There's even more Disney stuff scattered throughout the store. They might even just be randomly placed because they have no dedicated aisle for them. And that includes things like stickers, card cases, rubber bands, and paper crafts. Basically, the sorting of these items depends on the Daiso. As you can tell, there's a lot of Disney to go around because Japan loves Disney. So my advice to make the most of this shopping trip at Daiso is to dedicate at least 2 hours to going through the aisles, because you might be surprised at what you'll find, especially if you come across an entire building or floor dedicated to Daiso. I hope you found this information helpful for your visit in Japan, and if you like this video and enjoy this kind of content, I hope you'll consider subscribing and giving it a like. Thank you so much for sharing and spending your time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.